Cobra Kai Season 3, Episode 6, King Cobra.
No.
Guys, excited to swing into this. The season just keeps getting better and better. If you haven't done so already, subscribe, click that notification bell. If you enjoy our reaction, hit that like button. If you just like the fact that we're doing this, hit the like button. I don't need to go over all the details again. Reaction highlights only for YouTube. Thank you to everyone who's been joining our Patreon page already this month alone. Full-length reaction watch-alongs for this are all over at our Patreon page where we cover a whole bunch of shows. Anywho, let's get down to business. And I have to throw this insert in here right now that wasn't part of the original plan because we got someone who we actually met through our Patreon, our friend Bradley Bledsoe, who you can follow on Twitter, Sketchy Studio Zero, just to help us keep up with being able to get all these reactions up daily. Had to hire someone. Bradley Bledsoe, thank you for editing the reaction highlights for us, dude. You've been putting in a lot of hard work. Give him a follow on his own channel where he has his own sketches and stuff, but mainly give him a follow on social media. Thank you again for last minute being able to help us edit because it's been quite a lot. Anywho, let's get to that reaction. Vietnam. This was me Miguel's backstory.
Yeah. We finally get to see why he's so brooding.
Smell that perfume? It's the smell of America. Hey, tell her to send one for me.
What's the smell of America?
Great. Command tent. Some captain's in there asking for you.
Is it a dojo master?
Is it that guy from Karate Kid 3 or something?
That's good. That's good.
That's a thick-ass cigar.
Seriously, it's the thickest cigar I've ever seen.
Guerrilla tactics, demolitions, hand-to-hand combat.
What kind of hand-to-hand are we talking about, sir?
Oh, you want to defeat your enemy, you gotta learn how to fight like your enemy. We need brutality.
God, is Kreese just like traumatized? Is that his whole thing?
Probably.
He's just like recreating?
So that's all
Jeez.
that I'm getting.
I'm still glad we went to high school in the 80s. No question, we had the best music.
Hell yeah.
I remember we used to see each other every day. Now I don't even know the first thing about you.
Don't like all the photos.
Yeah. Don't leave too many comments.
What are you up to these days?
Assaulted several minors.
Just repeat the rap sheet from that time he tried to apply for the job.
Hey, wait till I tell you what happened over there.
I met up with my ex. Let's start with that.
A guy who wanted to kill me.
Considering there's a Cape Fear level karate psycho terrorizing the neighborhood.
You see? It sounds crazy when you say it out loud.
It's a great description, though.
Yeah, well, they got what they deserve for what they did to Miguel. You still haven't seen him yet, have you?
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm really disturbed by that.
Good deflection, Hawk.
Oh my god. They got an Asian kid who finally do karate.
They brought him back for season 1.
Didn't recognize him at first. Damn.
Everyone fall in.
Ugh.
Oh, I hope that guy puts him in his place.
That's probably what it'll take.
You writing a novel?
Jesus Christ, Johnny.
Oh, Johnny.
Facebook message.
No.
You're writing a novel?
TLDR, Johnny.
You cannot send her that message.
Why not?
Because it's like 80 pages.
Look at this.
Sending her this would be like if you... like if you liked all of her photos.
Ooh, you
Oh,
did
no.
it. You did it. You did it. Did the thing I told him not to do.
Hey, look, she put a smiley face in the message. She's even got little red cheeks. Does that mean she's getting hot? She's feeling hot? What else is she doing with that?
Holy shit. It's the kid with the lip. Y'all thought it moved.
Did they not go to the same school anymore?
I guess not. Sorry,
I feel like Hawk has a pretty big reputation.
Yeah.
Ready?
Whoa!
Damn!
They're gonna start mixing their martial arts.
Finish him.
Jesus Christ!
What do you mean by finish him?
No hesitation, no second thoughts, and no mercy.
He said no mercy.
I know what that is! Jesus.
Oh
Not a
no.
word of this to Kreese, understood?
Oh, should break up with him?
Or is it his mom?
No, his mom's already
No,
dead.
she's already dead. That's right. Oh no.
Or did she die too? Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, lead
Wow.
with those. Lead with those.
Do you have anywhere you're wearing a shirt, maybe?
There you go, how's that?
Hey, that's... You know, we're probably just...
I love Johnny.
Seriously, the best.
You think the aquarium will let me get in there with the dolphins?
I don't know.
Yeah, a restraining order. That's right.
Nah, he can get around a restraining order.
Emergency protective order has already been filed.
Oh, he filed it against her.
I feel like this story is missing a lot of context.
You smacked him. I mean, to be fair.
Sign here to acknowledge you've been served these papers.
Oh my god.
All right, who's going down next?
Let's go.
He's mine.
Oh shit.
See if I can fix that lip of yours then.
Oh no, no, no.
Damn.
Oh,
Damn.
Oh,
Damn. Damn. Damn.
Finish it.
ah!
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
You get it?
Is he changing his clothes?
Did he bring looks?
Okay.
What the hell is this shit?
It's a dragon.
delicious.
So basically, you have some fresh avocado, some chopped up cucumbers.
All the time he's doing karate.
Oh,
Miguel?
I know you're helping your mom, but you need help.
goody. Oh.
Still don't like her.
How about you do a deal with me?
Sleep with him.
I want you to evict a tenant in your Reseda strip mall.
Is this about snake karate? Why would I evict him? No, I want triple.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Deal.
Oh, is Kreese gonna harm this guy, or is Kreese can just continue training, or he's gonna harm that guy?
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Ponytail's in position. All right, we're live.
No.
Is that because of me? Shut your goddamn mouth, Silver. Look at him, Kreese. Look.
Oh Jesus.
This is the worst time to evict him after having this flashback.
You have to leave today. Eric, Grigor.
Oh no.
Got to get their asses whooped.
Og.
You're the one giving up.
I don't know what the heck.
Quiet! You helped a bunch of people and then walked away like a pussy. That's who you are if you can't see that.
Wow. Raw.
Doing it.
Oh. Oh, what a good scene.
Sensei.
Awesome.
Join my dojo.
Oh. Too short. She just said what she's been up to.
I know.
Dealership's back on its feet. Creases out of our lives.
Oh no, Kreese is gonna come right back in the dealership, isn't he?
He's gonna like throw a brick through the window. This is like every anime where they talk about how they're gonna win.
I can't believe it's over. Here we go.
Oh,
Oh no, no.
The deal is off.
What? We had an agreement.
Oh god.
Danny boy.
What the?
I can't believe he did
Oh Jesus.
this. Oh, dude.
Oh.
Too far.
This is where we draw the line.
This show's so good. So good. It's so good. Such a good show.
Yeah.
Such a good show. It's crazy how much they're like humanizing Kreese.
Yeah. and everyone he's rubbed off on.
I mean, with Kreese, though, like bringing all these flashbacks into the fold and really getting a sense for the traumatizing experiences he had, already with his loss of his mom, you already get a sense of a real disturbing childhood he had as well, just based off of like interactions he had with the people who were bullying him at the restaurant. Going to these Vietnam War flashbacks, it's pretty brutal for this show. I mean, the show goes brutal with its like fight scenes and stuff, but a lot of times they might not show you certain parts. But I was like, this feels like a different show. You feel like you're plucked into like some type of war series at this point, you know? And it does make all of this feel that much more believable.
Absolutely.
Because before I was just kind of rolling with it, like, this is fun. This is a little ridiculous, you know? Like, man, they take Cobra Kai and karate way too seriously. But then when you get the idea that Kreese is just a super traumatized guy, that trauma can be felt and then also influenced upon others. Yeah. And you see that happen with Johnny, you see it happening with these other students, where despite whatever feelings that you might get of hints like with Tori and Hawk and the looks they give, that something's wrong, you know, like traumatized, they still go through with it anyway. This show is dealing with these elements, especially this season in particular, from what we've gotten with Sam and what she's dealing with. We've gotten that plenty with Johnny, of course, over the course of this whole series. But damn, like, everyone's dealing with trauma. And with Kreese especially, suddenly all the stuff that was kind of silly about it, you're like, no, this makes a lot of sense why this guy does this now.
Especially when you see the full-on outcome with the bomb and everything, and that one moment of hesitation, and they set it up. Like, there's a piece of dialogue early on that sets it up, like, oh, he can't have this kind of emotional distraction, you know, out there in the field. It's the kind of thing that can get a person killed. And it's one of those things where I wasn't thinking about, like, oh, it's definitely going to come back. And it's, again, an earmark of, like, the sensibility of this series. Like, they really made an earnest piece out of all those flashbacks to where it didn't feel out of place somehow, even though it's very well removed from a lot of the places and contexts we're familiar with so far.
Yeah, it's really impressive, and you see he's so scary. He's so scary. You just have no idea what reactive mode he's gonna go to next. You're like, oh, he's gonna show up. The guy who owns the building, he's gonna show up, and his crew's gonna kill him. He's gonna burst through the Russo's auto group store. Is he gonna do that? And then, oh man, the snake one, just when they got their reputation back on track. Cobra. That was a good reveal. Yeah, I'm really enjoying everything that this show's doing from beginning to end. The relationship with Amanda and Danny. I feel like Amanda should have really mentioned the slap moment.
Yeah, that especially between these two. Well, and like, I don't know, for all the things that have happened physically between characters on this show, that's about, the least outlandish thing to have happened. She smacked him across the face, you know?
It makes sense. If Kreese to pull that, what a bitch move, Kreese.
Because that's exactly what his students do at the school, is they're just like, oh no, man, we're totally in line with the status quo, and it's them who's out of line. And if you use it's like using weight against someone in a fight. You use their own anger and ire against them. And I feel like they're great at building tension out of that too when it comes to the sides of like Hawk or Tori that do seem a little more human and a little more aware of their moral or lack of moral guidance, And it's great because on the flip side, you see how Kreese empowers them, and it makes for a really compelling, like, where's everybody going to end up? Because I want them to be salvaged, but I have a feeling some of them can't be.
It's funny to me how none of the students were, because especially when they bring in the cops section to this, like, what about all the people who leave Cobra Kai?
Yeah.
They're witness to things that just are not like as much more believable as exploring the backstory of Kreese and all that has made all this obsession and passion and the amount of trauma that gets, displaced over into karate. Like, I get that. Just like, man, you don't conduct a karate school like that. It's like underground fighting meets karate.
His operation must send multiple people to hospitals and rack up a lot of medical bills.
Like, it's ridiculous.
And I can't believe that not one parent has done anything about this, or like, there would have to be someone, like, if you said a bunch of kids are getting their noses and arms and stuff broken or walking out bloodied from this place, I feel like someone's gonna go investigate that.
But Yeah, at the same time, it doesn't really bother me. It's just funny.
No,
It's just fun to me. Yeah, it
show.
works with the show. That's what I mean, it works with the show. It's just funny.
And I mean, I guess you could argue that, you know, it's what Kreese attracts is people who care or like to maintain that level of bloodlust, and so who maybe aren't gonna go and tattle anyway.
But when Hawk lets out all that aggression and trauma, it's just, that's what I mean, dealing with trauma. Like they even show with Hawk, he's traumatized from the events of being bullied. He even has a little bit of a panic mode, and then taking the Cobra Kai approach, which is attack it with the utmost aggression. That's how you overcome your pain. Just attack it with violence. And that was a brutal scene. They went a full Fight Club in that moment, full Edward Norton, Jared Leto. It's more painful to watch Hawk unload his fists than it is to see the guy being pummeled in, because your imagination kind of fills in the gap of how brutal it is. You
And
know?
after a while, you're like, please don't cut back to him. Please don't cut back to him. And that scene was perfect, too, because, I love the way that they're playing with... And, like, I was reminded of Sam in the last episode, because I was like, oh, is this going to be a turn, or is this moment of trauma going to get the better of her? And it does, whereas this one, I was like, oh, okay, we're setting up for maybe Hawk is about to be dethroned, but no.
Bringing those bullies back into the fold does remind you of why Hawk has gone to this level of extremity with this persona he's adopted, and his commitment to this level of violent level Cobra Kai.
That's not
because
me.
of how he was treated for so long. So I'm like, yeah, I gotta keep that in mind. Like, he's done a full slingshot effect because he's had years of that kind of crap to put up with. So it makes sense. But Johnny and Miguel, going back to them being the heart of this series, that was even though it's one of the last things we're talking about, here's my favorite part of this whole episode. It's so funny. It's so funny, and they have such good unexpected scene work. I love that last scene when he's trying to help him walk. Miguel's calling him out on his bullshit and how he's been running away, and he's saying like, you're supposed to be the sensei and all that, and then you see the action of like, will you help Miguel walk just there or stand? He's learning how to be a real sensei, a real mentor, you know, in his own fashion. He's not trying to duplicate or mirror the Cobra Kai ways anymore. He's finding his own style. He's still got his Johnny Lawrence edge, his 80s personality to it all. But he's doing it his own way, and I love that he's becoming an actual sensei.
Oh yeah,
especially like on this one-on-one. He is the Miyagi to Daniel LaRusso with their relationship, but in their very own fashion.
And to build him back up in that way, I think it makes a lot of spiritual sense to bring it back to a one-on-one scenario with this one student, and you remove karate so that you just have these themes of he's guiding him and encouraging him and helping build him up and sort of revealing what Miguel maybe doesn't believe he has within him already, at least, given the physical limitations. And every scene, and again, even the little ones, even like the goofy little moments, like their chemistry is just like, I've always loved it, but it's just like singing more than ever to me as of these past couple episodes.
It wasn't really there in season 2. It wasn't as prevalent.
Rogue Miguel.
And then here it's like, this is all they have is each other at this point. And it's back to that, and they have the history to bring along with it, as opposed to getting to know one another. They already love each other.
And because of that, they can speak on these levels.
So that's why I think it's so much stronger. So they really are the heart of this. You don't cut to Robbie at all in this episode, which kind of surprised me. The Tori stuff, I don't know. I'm so back and forth with Tori. I'm not even that back and forth. I'm having a really hard time. I feel like the show will tell me to be like sympathetic towards her. Dying mom, like we got the beat. Dying mom. She works a lot to take care of her mom. Okay.
I feel like we haven't.
It's like a character note they've included in the script of her character that I'm like, whenever I'm with her, I just don't like her. I don't like, and I feel like the show leans way more into that as opposed to trying to really flesh her out. But then again, my recollection of my experiences with her character in season 2, I remember facts and beats. Like, they used to date. Tori was New Girl who showed up to Cobra. Like, I remember these little things. But my emotional experience with her is not as strong in memory at the moment. And
I feel like they could do a little more to, make her character feel a bit more lived in, or maybe give her some, like, we've spent maybe one episode that had a focal Tori plot line in it this season, and something about it does feel a little more mathematical. Like, oh, here is her trauma in fitting with kind of breaking down what motivates all these kids to, join up with karate and face these types of issues. But yeah, I feel like we hinted the most at it in that scene with Miguel, some kind of vulnerability from her, and I feel like it's that temperance that I'm missing. It's like with Hawk, even though I sometimes complain that he's like evil, we've at least been there with him as of season 1. We saw him where he came from, and we've seen him in more vulnerable moments, whereas like
maybe if the mom was a character.
Yeah, or maybe if we got to spend a little time with her out of her element or out of the place where she's putting up that wall and that guard, because she is one of the most guarded characters, it seems like.
Because, she seems to go, there's something that's kind of human about it, to go from break Dimitri's arm, like shouting, finish it, and then to show up the next day and be like, I didn't think you'd actually do it. Like to be so caught up in the aggression of the moment.
Yeah.
And then when your emotions are not that high, suddenly that wall is a little bit more vulnerable, and then you're feeling all those feelings underneath the anger. So there's something that is pretty human about that to me. Because sometimes I find myself judging her, but then in my mind will go, well, it's kind of a human thing though. Like, oh, I feel guilty about this things, or seeming disturbed by, like, surprised by all that shit that fucking Hawk did. But I'm like, but you were the one egging him on. But that's also human to be in the moment and do that. And even with Miguel, like, oh, I feel guilty. But you do a lot of, you still do horrible things, Yeah. But that's what I mean. When she's caught up in the moment of the anger and the violent stuff, it could seem like she's being hypocritical, but there's something that's three-dimensional about it on another spectrum. I don't know if I'm reading more into it to give the show more credit or if that's an actual thing that the show's doing.
I feel like she definitely fits thematically, and she definitely helps to kind of exemplify, because like within the Cobra Kai, and especially in that laser tag scene, you kind of see the latent like peer pressure thing that could potentially choke out these little notes of, is this going too far? Well, I guess if nobody else thinks so, I can't, look weak by, objecting. So, and I feel like, I'll pick those nuances especially up out of her sometimes, but I feel like it's just maybe we could use a few more tenders for her.
I love Johnny figuring out social media too. Him talking with Allie, and I love how they've been building up the return of Allie. We don't really know all the details too, even in that message. Like, there's so much still to uncover. When will she return physically in the show? She clearly took photos for the show. She has to appear either as a cameo or a guest star in one of these episodes, but probably more of a prevailing character in season 4. Who knows? But I love the way they're building it. But more importantly, more than just a nostalgia factor of bringing Elizabeth Shue back, Allie, they're using it to build up the Johnny character. Still chasing another thing from his past, dealing with that whole conversation of putting up this facade, lying to your ex to present yourself as something you're not. That's why I think it's so cool what they're doing with her, because it could have just been, she's back, yay, cool, she's in the show. But they're doing it in a much smarter way to make it feel like a real essential part to the growth of Johnny, which I think is fascinating. I'm really impressed with this show. I like how I don't know, if you guys start watching our reactions from episode 1, we've gone from so much more jokes to taking this like progressively more serious as we.
They're really good at riding that line, man. They're really good at riding that drama.
I just became very self-aware of our experience. I'm just like, so many jokes, too. Less jokes as time goes on.
Shit just keeps getting more and more real.
I mean, our energy and mood is always a reflection of whatever we're reacting to, so yeah, it makes sense. All right, guys. Well, Cobra Kai. I don't know. Leave it whatever the hell you want to leave down in the comments. You guys have already seen the show. Subscribe, click that notification bell, hit that like button. Check out our Patreon page if you want. Thank you to Bradley for editing this video. Make sure to go check out his channel. I said it so reluctantly.
Fucking whatever. Bradley channel.
Fucking Bradley's channel. A little brain dead, man. 4 a.m. bedtime. Later than that, probably. All right.
Sketchy Studio.
Let's check out his channel, man. Last but not least, want to shout out
Bradley!
Bradley Bledsoe.
Thanks for editing the video, buddy.
Every time we hire you for a little edit, and we just go, let's take his Patreon pledge and put it back into Bradley's pocket right there.
Right. So this is just a bonus for
This
you.
is just a bonus. We're both winning. We're both saving ourselves here. Thank you, Bradley.
How have you enjoyed Cobra Kai, catching up for it just to be able to edit this?
I appreciate the work you're putting in, man. You're kicking so much ass lately. You've been working your butt off. I hope 2021 is a pleasure for you, man.
Pleasure yourself in 2021.
I really have enjoyed getting to know you. I really have enjoyed it. We've been talking like every other day because we have to, you know, to
Don't want
coordinate
to,
everything. I
but
don't
we have
want
to.
to, but now that we're working
Now
together,
we're
you're like a
friends.
real friend now.
I actually care about what happens in your life and your wife.
I get
and
back
you
to
guys
you
well-being
more than my
together.
fiance.
It's causing problems around here.
You're ruining
The
you're ruining
onus
my
is falling on
relationship.
me, and I'm not equipped for that.
John's really bad at it.
I'm a bad lover.
Anyway, Bradley, thank you for being here. Catch you soon.
Love you.